All right, ladies and gents, we just got finished looking at our first unit and the reasons why people participate in markets and different ways that markets are regulated or unregulated in terms of macro plans by governments. Remember now, people participate in markets because they are motivated by their own self-interest. They're getting something out of it. Our next unit looks at really the nuts and bolts of how markets work and determining supply and demand. So in order to do that, we need to look at a couple different terms. Okay, the first one is demand. You have to meet a couple specifications in order to really demand something. Okay, you have to desire to own it, so you have to want to own it, and you have to have the ability to pay for it. Okay, think of it this way: if pop in the pop machine was a quarter less or 50 cents less, would you buy more of it or less of it? You know, if you're a pop drinker, you're probably going to buy more of it because one, you desire it, and two, it's cheaper, so you can pay for it more. Okay, so as the price goes down, your quantity consumed will go up. Now remember, demand is the desire to own something and the ability to pay for it. Okay, just remember that you need to meet those two specifications. Okay, in terms of microeconomics, so you're looking at household or personal levels. The rules are fairly common sense and fairly simple. Okay, people will buy more of something as the price goes down and less of something as the price goes up. Okay, so that pop that was simply put 25 or 50 cents cheaper, you're going to buy more of it if you're a pop drinker, and if it's 25 or 50% or 50 cents more expensive, you're going to buy less of it. Okay, you see this in everyday purchasing decisions. You're going to buy something as a consumer, you're looking for the lower price. Okay, again, if you're going to demand something, you have to be willing and able to buy a good at a very specific price. If you can't afford it, you don't demand it. Okay, you simply, maybe you want it. But if you simply want it or desire it and you can't pay for it, ain't happening. You don't demand it. Okay, look at this. I want a new car. Okay, I can't demand a Ferrari. I also would like a new house. Maybe this pool is a little too big. Maybe my neighbors will use it for a bath, whatever. I cannot demand this house simply because there's no way on God's earth that I can pay for it. All right? Now, if this were a Pinto, maybe. Anyway, you have to demand, in order to demand something, you have to desire it and be willing to pay for it. Okay? So, look at other things. You need to eat, right? Why are fast food restaurants so successful? Because people want food, they want that salty, sugary stuff, and they can afford to pay for it. Okay, for the most part, it's a cheap alternative to sitting down in a restaurant. Okay, I want to go to Packer games. I've been there. I want to go to more. Can I afford it? Well, maybe. Not every day, but you have the ability to pay for it, even if it is $150. I can demand that. Okay. We're going to talk about schedules. Okay, demand schedules and supply schedules. So all that a demand schedule is it's a chart that shows you how much quantity of something is available or how many people would buy at a certain price. Okay, so how do you read this? Well, if a can of pop was 25 cents, a company could say, you know what, we're probably going to sell about 890 of them. And as you go up, you could see as the price increases, the number demanded decreases. So that 25-cent pop on one day, they thought they could sell 890 of them. If that can of pop goes to $2.75, they're only selling 100. Okay, so all this shows is the inverse relationship. As the price goes up, the number demanded goes down. Okay, so basically you're pricing people out of markets. They won't participate because they cannot afford it. Okay, when you look at a market demand schedule, you're looking at a projection that companies use to show what they think the quantities of a product that people will demand at a certain price, okay? This allows business owners to kind of predict sales and to plan out what they're doing. Really, some of it's based on a sales history, some of it's based on outside projections. There's a lot of complicated math and things that go into this stuff, but it allows businesses to plan at a certain level, looking at certain price points. The idea is you're able to sell things. You want to, as a producer, you want to price things at a level that people will demand it, but you're still maximizing profit. So there's kind of a tenuous situation there. Okay, so back to more graphs and curves. You see schedules, demand schedules, that are represented on demand curves, and really all it is you're plotting out those points. Okay, one thing you need to know, okay, demand schedules will always slope down and to the right. Okay, they will always slope down and to the right, and I'll show you an example of this in a second. What this is showing you graphically is that as price increases, demand decreases. Okay, so if you look at this curve, it's very generic, but you can see you have price point 1, okay, which it would be a higher price. So as you go up, the price increases. How many people are going to demand it? Well, fewer than at a lower price where more people will demand it. Okay, so when you see a demand curve, it always slopes down and to the right. Okay, always slopes down and to the right. All right, guys, we'll wrap up our first session there. So remember now, just to summarize things, if you're going to truly demand something, you have to have the ability to pay for it and the desire to have it. When you're looking at demand schedules, it's just looking at the price points and quantity demanded at those points. So the lower the price, the more demanded. And when that plots out on a graph, on a demand curve, you'll see that graphically. And remember, a demand curve always shifts down and to the right. All right, thanks, guys.